How we doing? I am your host, Robert T. Gardner Jr., also known as Dr. Rob. Welcome to Station BOB, and let me tell you a little about thee. I am a kid from a Harlem hood who turned out good. I got educated like I should. Now I know how to help you grow to become the best of your being in life, love, and work. With that said, I am here to provide you with some clarity associated with the perplexity of the challenges in your life, love, and work. So, without further ado, let's get down on it. Enjoy the show. Yes, welcome once again, my friend, to Station BOB, where you listen to learn how to become the best of your being in life, love, and work. I'm your host, and as always, I am excited and happy to be with you today. I want to thank you for allowing me into your car, onto your phone, or on your computer, however you listen to your podcast. I just want to thank you very much for listening to me. And please press that follow button right now before I get started to make sure you receive all the latest and the greatest breaking content from Station BOB. Today is a very special day for me. Not for any other reason than it is my favorite aunt's birthday, my dear Aunt Sally, a.k.a. Maunt. Maunt means ma and aunt, because when my mother passed away at my young age of 9 years old, my Aunt Sally, her youngest sister, gave up her apartment and moved her and my favorite cousin, a.k.a. cousin brother, Joseph James. They came to live with me and my sister where we were living in Harlem, USA. And I will forever be grateful to my dear Aunt Sally. Happy birthday, Aunt Sally. And as I was saying, I will be forever grateful for the sacrifices, that she made to take care of me and my sister, who messed around and overdosed on heroin 3 years later, after my Aunt Sally made that tremendous sacrifice to take care of us. But nevertheless, today is her birthday. Happy 85th birthday to my Maunt. Love you, girl. I say girl not in disrespect, but she's still a vibrant, beautiful, and wonderful person. So today's top topic is facts about the vax. For me, this is not a political issue. It's not about the politics. It's about the facts. And I just want to discuss this issue with you because it is that important. So today we're going to talk about one of the most important topics happening today. Aside from the fact that we have prolific gun violence happening all over the United States, there seems to be a direct assault against the police, as they have been either shot at, killed, and or ambushed in places like Houston, Texas, Harlem, USA, and Kentucky, along with some tragic fires that happened a couple of months ago in Philadelphia, and most recently in the Bronx, New York. Today, I would like to talk to you or discuss another topic, and that has been the number one menace to society at the present time, which is the COVID-19 pandemic, which I call the pandemic, because like you, It is getting on my nerves. And although I am, mask compliant and fully vaccinated, I am sure it is safe to assume that you too are sick and tired of being sick and tired of this pandemic, mask, testing, deaths, vaccine, and the fact that the virus has not gone away. Oh my God. Well, breaking news. The vaccine, whether you believe it or not, is the most effective and the only way to quell this virus. I will admit that at first, I too was very skeptical of the vaccine due to the fact that it was developed so fast. But, B-U-T, as one of my good friends told me, he said, Rob, either you going to get the virus or the vaccine. It's your choice, but it's going to be one or the other. And when I heard that, it just made so much sense to me. So I'm gonna say that again. So hopefully it may make sense to you that either you're going to get the virus or the vaccine. And I decided to get the vaccine. And I have been boosted as well. So whether you agree with the vaccine or not, just for the record, we are already full with vaccines, which include, if you are an adult, you are already filled with vaccines. And some of these vaccines include, but are not limited to, a vaccine for polio, measles, chickenpox, rubella. And those are some of the older vaccines. Quite frankly, I'm not even sure if we still are vaccinated for those things, but more than likely we are. But that is just a mere, three or four vaccines that I just mentioned. In addition, we are vaccinated for diphtheria. What is that? How about cholera? You ever heard of that? Anthrax? That sounds like an insect repellent. Influenza. And some of us take the flu vaccine annually. I'm not sure what cholera or cholera is. It's spelled Cholera. I'm not sure if I even pronounced it right. But what is important here, is I am willing to bet that none of us know how fast those vaccines were developed. Yet, those vaccines are active in our bodies today. Now, with that said, I'm sad to report that over the past 2 to 3 weeks, 2 people in my circle who were not vaccinated, and they deliberately chose not to get vaccinated, they recently died, as I said, over the past 2 to 3 weeks ago. And one of my friends, he was 50 years old, and the other was 36 years old. That's right. He was 50 years old. And to some, 50 years old may sound old, but when you turn 50, you realize how young you really are. In addition, as I said, my other friend was 36 years old, and they did not have to die because of COVID-19, but they refused to get vaccinated. The crazy thing about one of these two friends is that he did work. He was a community organizer, and he was doing some good work. And one of the endeavors that he had got involved in is to get people in the community he worked to get them vaccinated. And he still chose not to take the vaccine himself. As a matter of fact, this was really just very powerful. During his funeral, as the pastor eulogized him, he stated, Curtis worked in the community to get people vaccinated. Then the pastor said, but I'm not going to say it. But in actuality, he really said it by making that statement, because it was easy to put that together, where he talked about the work that my friend did in the community, and then he just said, I'm not going to say it. And by not saying it, he said it. And what he was really saying is that my friend chose not to get vaccinated. And so here we are at his funeral with his fiance, his parents, his children, other family members, and his friends. And this is all because he chose not to get vaccinated. I mean, that is unbelievable. I just don't know what to say. Yes, it is just a very sad thing, a sad time, and just hard to figure out why we make some of the decisions that we make. And please do not let that be you. Like my friend said, Rob, either you're going to get the virus or the vaccine. And with that said, I want to share some additional facts about the vaccine. But before I do that, I'm going to step aside and let a promo in, and we'll pick up on the additional facts about the vax on the other side.
Have you read any good books lately? Your host, Robert T. Gardner Jr., also known as Dr. Rob, is the author of 3 great books. In his first book, The Choices We Make, Robert takes a look at relationships to help readers learn how to have a good relationship with themselves before they can have good relationships with others. In his second book, Access Denied, Robert brings an eye-opening perspective about what happens to children and fathers when their relationships with the mothers of their children end on bad terms. Robert explores what he calls child porn, when a parent, usually the mother, uses a child as a weapon to hurt the other parent. Robert provides a let-go lab in his book to help parents find positive ways to resolve their issues in the best interest of their children. Light Up Your Life is Robert's latest book. Robert writes about the fact that we are all born with a special God-given talent. Even though we are all born with a special talent, most of us miss our true calling. In this book, you will learn how to find your special talent and light up your life so that you can become the person you were born to be and live a more fulfilled, purpose-driven life. Books are available at BarnesandNobles.com, Amazon.com, and Robert's website, RelationshipReadiness.org. Thank you, And back to the show.
Okay, welcome back. You know, I need to talk more about my books, and I am planning to do some book readings on this podcast in the very near future, because I believe if you knew more about my books, you'd be more interested in what I talk about in those books, because the books will definitely behoove you in many ways. Like my book, The Choices We Make. That's a book that helps people understand the importance of making good relationship choices, how to make good relationship choices, but not only to make good relationship choices, but to find healthy relationships, not only with others, but also with yourself. Because you see, I can't be good to you if I'm not good to me. So when you get a chance, go to Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, or my website, relationshipreadiness.org, and check out my life-changing books. Enough said on that. Let's get back to the facts. I want you to listen up. This is very important. Unvaccinated people are 20 times more likely. I'm going to say that again. Unvaccinated people are 20 times more likely to die because of the pandemic. Or let me be serious. The pandemic. 20 times more likely to die if you are unvaccinated. Unvaccinated people are 17 times more likely to be hospitalized. Now check this out. 90,000 people have died between July 2021 and October 2021. 99% of those people were unvaccinated. I don't know why the stats stop at 99%. I believe they should just go on and say 100% of those people were unvaccinated. That is astounding. Now, I want you to think about the impact of that, of those losses, of those deaths on their children, family, and friends. People, are you hearing me? Because they chose not to take the vaccine that would have saved their lives. Not only are the children or their children, family, and friends adversely impacted by these choices, but also, let's not forget about the doctors, nurses, technicians, and all the other countless medical staff members who are stretched beyond the limits or their limits to treat people who chose not to protect themselves from this virus. That is a damn shame. And we have to do better. Because, you see, there should be no statistics that say more than 800,000 people have died prior to the vaccine being available, and 607,771 people have died. These are the 607,771 unvaccinated people have died as a result of this virus as recently as last week. So I am sure by now those numbers have increased. And all of these deaths are related to people who did not take the vaccine. So if you count the number of people who passed away as a result of the pandemic, 800,000, and then you add the 607,771 people, that is a total of approximately 1,407,711 people dead in connection with this virus. If this is not enough to convince the unvaccinated to get the vaccine, what else do you need? Please do not wait until you're dying like my friend did before you get vaccinated. Tell you a quick story about my friend at his funeral. One of his aunts who spoke about his life, and as a matter of fact, she was a doctor. And she talked about how we as people have to stop listening to other people getting our information from the wrong places and follow the science. We listen to the weather reports in the morning, and we know when it's going to snow, when it's going to rain, when it's going to be hot, when it's going to be cold. As a matter of fact, speaking of the weather, where I live in the tri-state area, they predicted a blizzard. And lo and behold, this past Friday, we had a blizzard. So the science is real. And so at his funeral, his aunt displayed a photo of my friend with a message that he tweeted just before he died, stating that COVID is real. And as the photo showed him in a hospital bed without a shirt on and tubes connected all, to his upper body that, were there to help him breathe. It was one of the saddest photos I have ever seen. And I just want to say to you, please do not wait to die before you cry out to tell us that COVID-19 is real. We know that at this point, more than 1.5 million people have died in connection with this virus. And that is why I just implore you to get vaccinated. I took the vaccination. As a matter of fact, I had no side effects. Some people experience side effects and some don't, like myself. But some small side effects are minor to scheduling a big funeral, to leave your children behind, your family members behind, your friends, your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance. It makes no sense. Now, I appreciate you listening to this message, and whatever your decision is, I respect that, because what you do is none of my business. But I just felt compelled today to talk about the virus, because it's getting close to me. And my wife, about a month ago, matter of fact, it was Christmas Eve, she came home sick from work. Now, she was fully vaccinated, but she had symptoms. And she experienced some things, but, B-U-T, because she was vaccinated, she came out on the other side alive, and thank God for that. People, you probably have heard the saying, or you may have heard somebody say, you never know when your time will come. But 607,771 people could have changed that narrative simply by getting vaccinated. If you can't do it for you, think about your kids, family members, friends, and the healthcare workers who are working tirelessly to save lives that they should not have had to save. I'm going to repeat it again. As my two friends said, Rob, either you're going to get the virus or the vaccine. And my other friend said, just before he died, COVID is real. And now he's dead. And may he rest in peace. I'm going to say that again. May he rest in peace. I want to thank you once again, my friend, for letting me in your living room, your car, your cell phone, wherever you listen to my podcast. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to Station BOB. Please follow me so you can get the latest insight on my top topics. You can get my podcast anywhere you get your other podcasts. And remember, love is an action, not a word. And it's not supposed to hurt. Until the next time we meet, don't hurt nobody. Peace. As we wrap up this show, I hope this topic helped you to grow. And now you know a little bit more than you knew before. If you have any questions about this topic, please email me at changeagentrtg@gmail.com. See my website, relationshipreadiness.org, to learn more about my counseling, consulting, and educational programs related to life, love, and work. Finally, in the words of the late, great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody he is traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. Until we meet again, do the right thing when nobody is looking. Peace, beloved.